Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my next Star Wars Rebels episode review. This one's going to be for Season 3, Episode 16, Legacy of Mandalore. Follow-up episode to our last one, Trials of the Darksaber, so continuation of Sabine's story, and overall this was a pretty good episode. I actually really liked this one. Was it perfect? No, but overall, I thought it was good. Like, we got introduced to Sabine's mother, Sabine's brother, we got the return of Gar Saxon, we got the death of Gar Saxon, and I think most importantly coming out of this, not just like a resolution of Sabine's story. It was an episode that put Sabine on a different path that was different than we perhaps expected, in that I didn't go into this episode expecting Sabine to stay there to kind of help her family to find the leader. That to some extent she's decided that I'm not meant to be the leader, but I will help to find that leader and do everything I can to get that person into the position that they need to be in. And that to me is a really interesting thing to do, in that the biggest complaint about Sabine as a character was that, okay, she's pretty cool and that she has all these like unique things about her character, but she doesn't have a plot. Now they've introduced that plot, they've covered basically the key things that we knew about before of the issues with her family that were kind of presented. Now it's just like, what's she going to do now? Is she just going to stay with the group and be there and just once again just be another character who's there in the background, but we've given her an episode or two. Now it's this idea that we could get to a point where maybe next season or something like that, Sabine gets like a solo episode. We cut away from like Ezra and Kanan, and we just focus on a Mandalorian episode with Sabine, Tristan, Ursa, the Wren family basically. And that's what this show kind of needed with some of its characters. Like Ezra, Kanan are fine. You can have episodes that are focused on them. They're developed enough as characters that comes across well. Zeb has had one or two notable episodes. Hera has had one or two notable episodes. Sabine has now had that, and now kind of feels like a character who actually can, just on the strength of her character, actually hold an episode up on her own. And especially with, like, I think the interesting take on Mandalorians is a perfect no, but the unique take on Mandalorians that they're having here, continuing from the Clone Wars, I'm at the very least interested in this plot, whereas I think prior to this episode I was just kind of like, the Mandalorian stuff is there, continuing off the Clone Wars, but it wasn't, they weren't really doing anything all that notable with it, but now it kind of feels like they are. So I'm actually really intrigued to see where they go with this. A lot of people are thinking, like, is the leader that they're perhaps talking about, is that Bo-Katan? In that she's still out there, and like I still think there's some stuff to kind of go into in depth into, in like, how is like Ursa related to Satine from the Clone Wars and stuff like that? Clan Wren, it was Satine, Duchess Satine Wren. So like, how's that relation? And like, Bo-Katan is her sister, but like she chooses Katan. She is, as far as we're aware, still out there as well. So like, that sort of stuff is interesting if we get to meet Bo later on, and like, especially if Obi-Wan's being introduced into the series, like, there's the opportunity to do a little bit maybe more with Obi-Wan beyond just whatever they're doing with Maul in a couple of episodes. But anyway, let's focus a little bit more, what this episode actually covered. So from the preview clips and stuff like that, we knew that it would be obviously not the warmest welcome that Sabine would be expecting here, and we get that. We have the kind of Imperial Mandalorians kind of attacking them in the air, forcing them to crash. And the reason that they get the audience with Sabine's mother is because the leader of the group that comes out to meet them at the crash site is Sabine's brother. And I think that was an interesting reveal, because the first time he was ever mentioned was the last episode, and we immediately get to meet him. Interesting enough design, and even though he's not the most important character, I liked how they used him within the episode, in that you had a sparring match with him and Sabine to kind of show that, okay, that's kind of what their relationship was like. They'd always kind of practice on each other, and so on, and giving him kind of the decision of like, he was almost in a way Gar Saxon's pet project within the Wren family, that like So when he asks Tristan, like, who do you side with? I will give you a chance. Side with me, but the rest of your family's being killed. And he sides with his family over Gar Saxon. It made for an interesting enough moment, even if it wasn't like the biggest kind of family moment. But again, there's hope that with more episodes focusing on this stuff, we may get more in depth on his character and use him in a different way. The only, I think, slight weakness of the episode, like overall, would probably be just that the timing on how everything happened with regards to Sabine's talks with her mother, and how real and honest those conversations were, given that later on it is revealed that she had always planned to basically sell them out to the Empire and Gar Saxon. It's one of those things like where like I think we are meant to take those scenes as like the honest feelings of Sabine's mother towards her, but you always have a little bit of doubt because the reveal of the kind of betrayal came a little bit afterwards. But I suppose in the end, Sabine's mother Ursa fighting alongside her kind of highlighted the fact that she does kind of believe in Sabine, and I actually really like the moment towards the end where it basically came down to the lightsaber fight between Sabine and Gar Saxon, that her mother kind of stopped all of them from going out there, even with like Kanan saying, you know, like you'd put like the kind of honor of the culture of the Mandalorians ahead of your daughter's safety, and she's still like, no, this is how it has to be done. We have to see how this actually goes. And I like that in the end the fight came to an end. Sabine won, but she refused to kind of kill him in the kind of Mandalorian way. So when he did the dishonorable thing of trying to shoot her as she walked away after she spared his life, her mother was the one to finish the job. And I suppose it was also meant to represent to a degree that Sabine in a way can't lead Mandalore because she's so much of a rebel now. That because she is so much on that side of things, she can't just be the kind of, in a way, heartless killer that she's almost expected to be as the leader of Mandalore if she's ever challenged. That she won't just like behead someone like that. Even though she wins the fight honorably, she can't just finish it like that, in the way that like Maul did to Pre Vizsla. Whereas her mother seems like she's capable of doing that. Maybe the brother would be as well. Bo-Katan, of course, we assume would be as well, but not Sabine, because she's so influenced from the group that she's usually around, you know, Zeb, Hera, Kanan, and Ezra. So I think that was an interesting decision that like they'd set up, like Fen Rao went almost overboard with kind of saying, Sabine is meant to be our leader, you can unite us with the Darksaber. And I liked how they just kind of took it in a different direction, where Sabine kind of accepts that I'm not actually meant to be the leader, even though it seems like that. I actually want to find the person who is the leader. That she wants to kind of solve this thing, and that like she is tasked with it. That she got the Darksaber and she's going to carry it for a while, only until she finds the person who is actually meant to be the leader. And that then she has dealt with that kind of situation of her responsibility with the leadership, and then she can go back to being part of the rebels. And I think that's an interesting arc to put her on, that makes her so much more interesting as a character, and it's a very unique idea as well, to just separate her from the group. As I said, it was a surprise to me that she decided to stay, and it led to that really nice emotional kind of moment where she hugs Kanan, kind of thanking him for the training, but also that, you know, this is goodbye to some degree, like her father figure for the last couple of years, since she's been part of the crew, and it's a kind of powerful moment. So the other thing within the episode is that we find out that Sabine's father is actually still alive, and to some degree maybe he's the one who's maybe going to be the leader of Mandalore, but we're not fully sure about what exactly that is. So she wants to find the leader, but she also wants to get her father back, and that's kind of what her task is right now, and that's why it's kind of justified her leaving the group. And, you know, that she has to deal with this kind of personal conflict that is maybe going to take up too much time of the rebellion if she stays with them. So it's kind of fitting that she kind of is going on her own path for now. Anything else? You know, we got some nice Mandalorian kind of action with the little fight that we get just before the lightsaber fight. With regards to the lightsaber fight, I actually liked how it was done, in that very clearly neither combatant was like as skilled as a Jedi, but matched up against each other, it made for still an interesting contest of two non-Force users using lightsabers in a reasonably skilled manner, using the technology that they have of like the gadgets and stuff like that of the Mandalorians, and then I suppose in the end, like actually having a victory in the fight. That I was kind of thinking for a second, they kept like his arm off screen, so I was just like, did Sabine just chop his arm off? But then like I think we cut away and we see that she didn't, so she seemed to just kind of graze his armor, which like loosened his grip on the Darksaber, and she got both of them. It was a cool sequence that she just caught it and kind of went to the double blade for a second. I think the most notable thing actually within the lightsaber fight, I appreciated so much that they did not have Sabine even attempt to deflect lightsaber bolts with to deflect blaster bolts with the lightsaber. She just took out the shield to block whatever ones were near her, but never actually tried to hit them with a lightsaber. I really appreciate that because that is a Jedi technique through and through. So yeah, that's basically all I want to say about the episode. Really interesting episode. Love the direction that they're taking Sabine in that it creates an important arc about Sabine, and it's not just that she's a member of the group. She'll go back to being that, but she has an arc of her own, and I really appreciate that. So in the comments, let me know what your thoughts were on the episode, but for now, that's the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.